Hey everybody, so today on the Homestead we are going to work on the Kubota M4700 tractor with the LA1001 front loader, and I've got some leaky cylinder seals, so we are going to replace the cylinder seals in all 4 cylinders, 2 on the boom and 2 on the bucket. I have set up a couple of jack stands to support some of the weight of the front loader, just to take pressure off of the cylinders. And we need to remove our gland nut. So I'm going to get the gland nut wrench and we'll get set up with removing the gland nut and starting the process of bringing this Kubota front loader back to operating specs. All right, let's get going. So we are going to remove our gland nut with a 1/2-inch extension bar that I got at Harbor Freight. It's a great little tool that allows you to pull your breaker bar to 24 inches with the pull of a collet. And here we have our gland nut wrench we are going to use to remove this gland nut, inserting the 2 pins into their respective holes, getting them to seat all the way against the gland nut, tightening down our center bolt so that we can get good purchase. There we go. All right, now that I've gotten that loosened up, I think we'll pull our pin. Right, next we're going to disconnect the hydraulic lines.
We're going to disconnect here.
Slide number 8. Keep us from making a mess, even if we should have to start the machine. And then this fitting will do the same for the hose end. I find an open-ended wrench won't fit on the tops of these fittings. And now we're going to remove the pin. And heavy. Let's take it to the shop. Alright, so we've got our cylinder in a vise at the pin end, and now we're going to remove the hydraulic fluid that still remains within the cylinder by gently pushing on it. Alright, gland nut is off. So we got the cylinder rod separated from the cylinder, and you always want to take a look inside your cylinder and see what you got. And this one, boy, looks clean. The rod looks completely clean, pristine, no hardly any scratches on it at all. A little bit of scoring on the bushing here on the barrel. And next we're going to get this nut off of the cylinder rod so that we can start changing our O-rings. So now we've got the cylinder rod viced up and supported by some blocks, and we're going to use our impact, half-inch impact, to remove the usually very tight nut. So here we go. Spun it right off. So off comes the barrel, and there is an O-ring behind the barrel, and then off comes the gland nut, and we'll begin the process of cleaning everything up. Now let's take the outer dust seal off, again with the pick tool, just kind of working it to the center. Here it comes. Get the pick tool behind it as soon as you can. Just start working it in and down. There it comes. In and down. Out it comes. Boy, that's looking pretty frail. Alright, next we have another seal. It's down inside here. Let's see, and it's going to have a direction. There's the new seal. You see it's got an O-ring inside and a flat side, so we're going to have to figure out what direction that new seal orients. Okay, so I just yanked the O-ring out, and I can see that the O-ring is on the bottom side. Alright, so I got a hold of it and I just yanked up. And I can clearly see the O-ring is on this side as it comes out. Looks like our seal kit is going to be correct. So here's the gland nut after I cleaned it up. So I'll use a little assembly lube to go on this these O-rings, and this will be the first one, the stiff one, the difficult one. We'll get that on first.
The technique I use is kind of like a tire. I'll get it started on one side and then hold it with my thumb as I slip the pick in there to try and stretch it around and get as much as I can with just my finger. Get the pick in there and just try to not distort it as much as possible.
Which can be difficult. There it goes. It snapped on there. It didn't deform. It's got a nice bed of grease in there to get a good seal. Next one to go on is our big black O-ring here. So let's lube that up too. Go ahead and get it over the first hump. Get the pick in there, pull it down, and just kind of gently go around. Bam! She's in. Nice bed of grease. That's number 2. Okay, number 3 is on the yoke. And that's this guy here. So we'll lube it up.
This one's going to go back here.
That's 3. Now 4 is the one with the O-ring, and remember the O-ring's going to face down towards the end of the cylinder. So we'll get that space lubed up.
I'm not putting a ton of grease in there. I just want to get the surfaces slick and ready to accept the new seal.
And now for this seal, I use a tool that allows me to compress the seal into a kidney bean shape. So let's lube it up and we'll make it happen. There's our kidney bean. Inside she goes, up against the wall. Nice and easy, and it's in there very nicely, and the seal's not deformed at all. I like that tool. That makes life easy. All right, the last seal on this gland is going to be our dust seal. Nice coating of grease in there. And our dust seal is here, and that's going to fit in just like so. And there's a lip on this seal under here. You can see my fingernails being covered. So I just kind of slip this into one side after I lube it. This is the part that's going to sit flat. Push it in on one side and just talk to it nicely. It'll go in there just like so. All right, so I'll go ahead and put some grease on the inside of this piece and a little bit of grease here on the shaft. All right, so here we have the end of our shaft and our newly sealed yoke. And we're gonna go ahead and get that started. I'm gonna pass the dust seal. It's harder with one hand, let me tell you. There it goes. Thank you. Woo! All right, we're ready to install new seals. I've got it pretty cleaned up there. First to go in will be that black O-ring. So let's lube that up. Okay, black O-rings on there. Next, and probably the most challenging, will be this one here. Definitely want to lube up this edge. And we want to lube up the plastic O-ring as well. Thing. Just like a tire, you want to kind of hold the back as you slip the front on, and you can see now it's deformed, but with time it will seat the unit. Okay, now we've got this guy to go. Get some goop on that, outside and inside. Some gooping here. Good lubrication. This one has a split in it here, which allows you to stretch it over and get it. All right, lastly, this is the low ring here. Some grease on her. You can see down in there. There it goes. I felt it. I felt it seat. Alright, on goes this. Oh, that's pretty tight. Alright, so we got the cylinder back onto the cylinder rod by just lining it up on the end and giving a few taps with my hand, actually, to get it to slide back on. So now what's left to do is to just tighten our gland nut down and get our hoses back on and get it back on the tractor. So here's our newly rebuilt cylinder installed on the Kubota. I'm about to put the hoses back on. You can see what an incredible difference just a little bit of paint makes on that cylinder to bring it back to new. Anyway, so installing the hoses, I just wanted to mention that I used this set by PIKWO, 144 piece JIC and ORFS hydraulic cap and plug kit to complete this job. I am not sponsored by them. It made the job really easy and clean. I was able to just put a little dab of paint on the plugs and the corresponding hoses, and then a little dab of paint where they go, which makes it really easy to avoid confusion. And this set made it really nice to not make a mess. That's all the hydraulic oil I spilled for this whole job, other than removing the oil that's contained inside the cylinder. But these caps stayed on there through paint and made it real easy to protect the threads of the hydraulic fittings. Anyway, so shout out to them. Nice set. I look forward to using it in the future on other hydraulic projects. But This Kubota cylinder is just about finished off. We're just going to put those hydraulic hoses back on and call it a day. So thanks for watching.